first off, social media. Social media has some great things, okay? I use it. It helps me to stay in touch with people that I haven't seen for a long time or that they're in other countries, but at the same time, social media can be pretty depressing. It can lower your self-esteem as you see that everyone seems to be having and living a better life than you. It can make you feel more anxious and more dissatisfied about life in general, okay? Because you're seeing there in full color the best situations that people are showing you in their lives. You see, everyone's trying to boast of course, nobody puts the worst things that happens in their lives in social media so much, except some weird people, but anyway, very pessimistic people. But in general, if you're seeing that everyone has a great life, you will naturally tend to feel worse yourself. So, you know, this is not good for you. It's not good for your mental health. It's not helping you to get rid of depression if you feel depressed already. It also creates addiction. Why? Because the brain, number one, is addicted to pleasure naturally. But the interesting thing about this is that we are not so much addicted to the pleasure itself as much as to the anticipation of pleasure. You see? So every time we are exposed to contact through social media with other people, and people like something that we've done or appreciate something or leave a comment in our social media, we get a positive reinforcement. We get what is called a positive message unit that goes straight to be lodged in our subconscious mind. We become addicted to those because we love pleasure. We don't want pain in our lives, you see? But the problem is that after the pleasure of the anticipation of that stimuli will make us go back more and more and more and more often to the social media portals or sites. And this is not good for us. In a way, something that used to be a tool for us, something that we used to grab and use, now has grabbed us. And now it's not letting us go, even when we want to get away. So think about that. Social media is not always good, and it can also make you waste a lot of time that you could be reading, time that you could be exercising, time that you could be learning to cook, time that you could be spending with real friends in real life. So beware of social media. It's not so good for your mental health in general. Okay, summary of the last few slides. Developing new habits is very, very important. Progressive replacement, gradual replacement there, okay? First thing in the morning, very important, the things that you do there. Assess in the last 2 hours before you sleep. Don't expose yourself to any negativity. Get away from computers as much as you can and connect it to that one. Social media is not always good for you and is also addictive, so beware of it. It is not conducive to health and happiness in many, many cases. Okay, let's move on now. Okay, so next point. Now this is also important, okay? If you want to have a mind where everything is in place, to say it in a way, it's important that your environment is also tidy. So it may sound like a silly little thing to you, but you see, you cannot concentrate in the same way, you cannot be motivated in the same way about life if your environment is a mess. It's a simple thing, it's not complicated, it's a very simple concept, but it's very important for us to notice, to remember that we as human beings are particularly sensitive to our environment. We tend to absorb absolutely everything that surrounds us. We tend to be influenced by these things. So it's very, very important that if you want to feel better, make sure that your environment is clean and tidy. First thing in the morning, very useful habit, is do your bed. The other day I was watching a video of some kind of military man, and he was giving a motivational talk that was mainly centered about this very simple habit of making your bed in the morning. He was saying that or he was using the making of the bed as an analogy of many of the things that you can and you should do in life in that very same way. He was explaining that when he started in the army, he used to think, why are we doing this? Why are we having to do this? Why, if we are coming here to learn other things, why, if we are such an important part of what we do for our country here, we have to take care of this little thing? As a young man, he couldn't understand it, but then later, over the years, he got to understand that that was just a way to help him develop this habit of making sure that as soon as he will get up in the morning, his environment will be conducive to have an organized life in which everything will be in place. If everything is in place in your environment, it will be easier than everything is in place in your mind. And these kind of little habits will help you with that. Now, another little practical tip there. Have a special drawer that you use for messy things. That will definitely help you to keep your room clean and tidy, your environment in general. You see, the problem is that a lot of people have all sorts of things in all sorts of places. But if you have one big kind of box or drawer where you can just drop all these things, and that is like the main drawer for that kind of thing, when you don't know when to put something, you just put it there. That will help you to leave all the rest of the room, of the house, whatever, and keep it clean and tidy. Okay. Another very interesting tip is they call it last in, last out in accounting circles, I believe. And it's the concept that anything that came to you should pass only once through your hands, and it should go straight out through, I suppose they look at it in a way in which you sort out whatever was that whatever came to you at that point, and then you process it, and it only goes through your hands once. Well, this can also be applied to your everyday life. This can be applied to the way in which you do things, so that anything that comes into your environment is processed in the way that you decide what to do with that, and then out it goes. It goes to the right place, or it goes out of your environment, or it goes to the little drawer that you have for that specific purpose. What else can we talk about? Minimalism. You see, the tendency for us to decorate our environment in a Spartan way, only having what we need. Imagine, I'll propose you to do an imagination exercise with me. I don't know if you know what is a hoarder, which is a person that accumulates a lot of stuff. Imagine that you go to, I don't know if you have done it in your life, but imagine that you go to the house or to the room where this person lives. Imagine what that looks like. That is the extreme case. Now imagine that you go to a very clean, tidy Japanese home. What kind of decoration do you find there? How many colors on the wall? How many different objects? How many shapes? How many materials? You see? Which one of the individuals living in each one of those environments do you think that will be able to concentrate better, to have a better memory, to study better, to feel better in general, to be able to have a mind that allows him to be stable, calm, and to relax in his or her own environment? You know the answer. Now, another thing that will help you is to have plants around. Seeing green for evolutionary reasons is very important for us as human beings. Any kind of contact that you may have, that you can have with nature, is something that you should do more of in your life, particularly because we live in such, let's say, industrialized societies that we are rarely in touch with nature the way that we have been for 100,000 years or more. So anything that reminds you of nature will be good for you, even if you don't pay attention to it. Just to have it in your environment, to have some green around, will be good and useful to you. This is something that you want to do more of. So, more plants, more order, less mess in general. This will definitely help you. Remember that what we are doing here is, for me, giving you pointers, lots and lots of different pointers. There are 115 different slides on this course, so that you go deeper, do some research where you need to, but also you begin to apply, to think about these things, because like I explained in my book, The Happening of Happiness, happiness is not composed of one single thing or two or three or four. It's composed of a lot of little things that, when they're all working for you, is when you are able to begin to live a happy, healthy and long-lasting life. All these little things have to be in harmony. All of them have to be working together for you, because you make them work for you. Now, moving on. Another thing that you want to do if you want to feel better is to analyze very well the kind of company that you have, who you are spending time with. You see, if you're down, if you're depressed, if you're sad, most probably you're not seeing so many people, okay? But maybe you are in a state of mind that for whatever reason, it puts you in touch with other people. Maybe it's because even though you are not feeling at your best, through work you have to be in touch with other people. Maybe you're in a relationship, okay? It can be anything. But the thing is that people's energy is contagious. So make sure that you surround yourself only with quality people. Make sure that these people bring something positive to your life. Make sure that they are giving you something, not just taking something from you. Now, as you think about the people that surrounds you in your everyday life, as you begin to analyze each and every one of your interactions and your relationships, I want you to accept something. I want you to put this in your mind and to remember it. Now, concentrate. This is what I want you to remember. It's okay to leave people behind. You don't have to feel guilty. If they're not providing you with value, it doesn't mean that you have to feel every friendship, every interaction as a mercantilistic activity. I don't know if even that is the right pronunciation, but what I mean is that, of course, you should give without expecting anything in return. This is also part of living a happy and fulfilling life. But you also want to make sure that anyone that is not bringing value to your life is naturally let go in a way, without guilt, without drama. Just make sure that you don't spend time around those people, because their energy is contagious. And if there are people that are naturally negative, pessimistic, and you are already not feeling at your best, to say it in a way, it will be more difficult. It will take you longer to get out of there. If they're, on the other hand, these kind of people are very selfish, always thinking about their needs, then once again, when you're feeling like you're feeling, you don't have much to give. You don't have much energy anyway. So what can they get from you anyway? You're all wasting your time. They're not going to get what they want, and you can't give much, and you feel pressure to give them more. So once again, for whatever reason, if you have to let them go away from your life, just let them go. No drama. Let them go. They're not good for you. Remember what I said a few moments ago. We are very sensitive to our environment, and we are particularly sensitive to the energy of other people. Minimize quantity, increase quality. Make sure that absolutely everything you do in life helps you to go in the direction that you want to do. Make sure that everything is pushing you, propelling you in the direction of your goals and your dreams. And whatever is not, or whoever is not helping you to do that, just get rid of them. But people will lead you to be, will make you be fatter, sadder, more pessimistic, more gossipy, will make you waste your time, and time is precious. You don't have time to waste. It doesn't matter even if you are so depressed that you feel that your time is worthless. Even in those moments, your time is not worthless. Your time is very valuable. So make sure that you start to let go of people. Delete friends on social media, limit your interactions in person with this kind of people, let them go without guilt and without drama. Now, talking about people, if you're in a relationship, it's time to evaluate your relationship. Now, I want you to be very careful with this point, okay? Because if you are depressed, remember that you will tend to not see the world objectively. You will not see things as they are. And if you remember previously, I told you, don't take any important decisions. Don't get married, don't break your relationship, because you're not in a normal state of mind. So be very careful with this. But if you feel that you're okay, if you feel that you have already touched the lowest point of your depression, if you were depressed, then it's time, this is a perfect moment to reevaluate not only your friendships but also your relationship. Are they good? If your partner is in a relationship with you, is what they bring to you good, positive? Are they a good spiritual influence in your life? Do they help you to reach your goals as a person? Do they make you a better person? These are questions that you want to ask yourself regarding your partner. It's not their responsibility to make you happy. It's not their responsibility to lift you out of depression. And it's very important that you don't look at it that way. But it's important that you make sure that if you are with someone, they are helping you to be the best that you can be. If not, it's also time to rethink your relationship. Maybe it's time to make some changes, or maybe it's time to leave it all together. If this is the case and that's what you decide, do not delay it. If you know that you don't love the person that you're with, do not delay to protect their feelings. This will be bad for everyone. This will make everything worse. This will hurt the other person. This will hurt you in the long term. If you know that you don't want to be in that relationship anymore, let it go. Be brave enough, be strong enough to sit down with that person and dare to say what is just the truth. That things don't work anymore, that you don't feel the same, that you don't think that this person is good for you. You can frame it in any way you want. You can propose to have a break. You can break up forever. But in any way, in any case, make sure that you do it sooner or later once you've taken the decision. Don't do the common thing that a lot of people do, which is to look for a partner in the background at the same time that they keep this partner hanging on. I've seen this many times, and in the end everyone is hurt. It's not a good idea. Don't do it. If you want to be happy, you have to understand that you can't escape from your conscience. These things will come back to haunt you, and life is long. It may not happen for 3 years, for 5 years, I give you that. You may run away very happy, very free. You may feel, wow, that was perfect. I didn't feel any more in love with this person, but I waited for a year and I was with 3 other people at the same time until I found the right person. And now I'm a winner in this situation. Well, yeah, okay, yeah. My ex-partner got a bit hurt, but he will recover, she will recover, we'll be fine. No. If you want to be happy, you have to act in accordance with the highest values. And you have to know and remember that this is good for you. So do it in every way you can, in every moment that you can do it. Make sure that you take decisions that are good for everyone, even when you are taking your own interest at heart first, which is what you should do in order to be happy anyway. But make sure that you are correct enough to do things in a way that is the right way of doing things. Do not cheat on your partner. Do not play games. Do not be passive aggressive. Do not torture them just because you don't feel the same for them. And now, therefore, you feel that you have more power than them. That's very low. It won't help you. It will only give you a short-term gain. But sooner or later, you will have to confront those feelings and what you did and how wrong it was. So don't do it. Save yourself time. Do the right thing today. If you are not in love anymore, if you know that the relationship will not work, let it go. Let that person go. Let them find someone else so that they can be happy if you're not happy with them anymore. Remember, everything counts. And if you do things well, you are more likely not only to get out of your depression, but also to find happiness and health in the long term. Talking about health, I want to bring your attention to the use of technology in order to be healthier. Okay, I don't know, many of you watching this may not be familiar with technology so much. Many of my clients are not. Some of my clients are very good with computers and other things. Some of my clients are terrible. They don't know. They are like, oh, well, maybe my son will do it for me. Maybe my husband will sort it out. Or maybe my partner, my female partner, she's the one that deals with these kind of things. I'm not into this. It's not my thing. Well, the thing is that you may not know that there are applications, for example, for mobile devices that you can use that help you to sleep better. There are sleep-inducing applications out there. There are mini programs, many of these are free. You can download them to your mobile device, and with the use of headphones, usually, there's a world out there of applications that can help you to reduce the stress in your life, and this is extremely important if you want to be happier. There are other applications that are more geared towards reducing general stress. Some are to induce sleep, to help you sleep at night, and some of them are quite effective. I tested them, I recommend them to my clients, and some others are just to reduce stress. So I'm talking about two different types of applications there. Go and experiment with them, explore, do your research, learn about them. There's something else called biofeedback machines. I remember many years ago, like almost 15 years ago, I saved money for a long time to buy this very special biofeedback machine, one of the first ones that they were selling in the country that I was at the time. And it was a machine that generated pulses of light at the same time that generated tones of sound. And the way that they were synchronized will help you to theoretically bring you to a different state of mind. I am very passionate about using technology to help you feel better. So if you don't know it, do your research and find out what is there, because there are lots of people working on using technology to help you have a healthier life. And this is very important that you are aware of. There are, for example, biofeedback games. So you see, some people are working on developing these kind of applications in which if your heart rate goes down, which is one of the measures of stress going down, you get some little rewards. You see, so there are applications for health and exercise, and that's another thing that I invite you to research. Things that will measure your steps, your calories, and lots of interesting things regarding sports. But there are also others that they are gamifying, as they call it. They're making a game out of having a healthier life, a healthier body. So go do your research on this. It can also help you. Remember, anything that will help you to reduce stress, anxiety, and sleep better will help you to get out of depression and will help you to go back to what will be your natural baseline of feeling happy and healthy. Now, talking about happiness, I wrote a book about happiness, the happening of happiness, and therefore I had to think a lot about this. It was quite relatively complicated to write, even though what I express in the book is not rocket science. It's basically, if you do things that are good for you, and this is the recipe, these are all the things that you have to do in order to be happy, you will naturally be happy. If you don't do those things, you will naturally be unhappy. It's not so complicated the way I say it. But the thing is that a lot of people, and it's very interesting to notice this trend in general, we live in a society in which, number one, we are used to instant gratification, and number two, we tend to want everything. We want all or nothing. Yes? We live looking forward to achieving the whole thing, to winning the lottery, to having $7 million. Yes? But we don't think so much, oh, how will my life be if I will be earning 100% more than I'm earning currently? Or how will my life be if I will have just one more house? And this will be a humble little house, instead of how would my life be if I had a super amazing car parked on the door and this beautiful mansion. You see? So we tend to go to the extremes. And it's interesting because we bring this kind of mentality to the topic of happiness. And my point here is that, you see, happiness and depression are not opposites. The opposite of depression is vitality, is energy, is the drive to look forward to your day and to live that day today. You see? But depression is not the opposite of happiness. Happiness is not the opposite of depression. It's not an either-or situation. Often you will want to strive, your goal when you're depressed will be not necessarily to be happy, because that's unattainable when you are at the lowest point of a depression. What you want to strive for is not to be so depressed, not to be so down, to do little things that make you feel better every day, a little bit here and there, and you're getting there. But the important thing is that you shouldn't try to achieve absolute perfection in how you feel, because then we go back to the immobilizing effects of perfectionism. It's not about happiness. When you feel depressed, it's about just beginning to get out of depression. Don't feel less because this person next to you feels so happy or they seem so happy. It has nothing to do with you and how you feel. And you shouldn't try to emulate what they are feeling either. They're a different person. Happiness is complex. It's a complex feeling and varies from person to person, from culture to culture, from stage of life to stage of life. What used to make you happy when you were 15 is not the same thing that will make you happy today. But when you are at your lowest point in your life, it's not the time to think about happiness, really. So concentrate just on getting out of that state that is preventing you from feeling at your best. Then, once you are feeling better, you can start to think about happiness. So let's do the summary now of the last 5 points that we touch upon. Number 1, tidy up your environment. What else do I have here in my notes? Stay away from bad company. Remember, okay? Get rid of people who are not helping you in any way. Get applications that will help you to relax, to sleep better, to have a healthier life. Evaluate your relationship also. Make sure that if you are not giving each other something good, you're not together anymore. There's no point. If you're suffering, why would you make another person suffer as well? Okay? Caveat, be careful. Remember, you're not in your best state of mind, so don't take any precipitated decision. And finally, depression, and the opposite is depression is not happiness. So take it easy, one step at a time, one day at a time. Concentrate on getting better on the small things. Forget about happiness for a moment. Happiness will come later. The first thing is to get better. When we have a car, we have to think first, do we have the wheels to hit the road? Do we have what we need? What are the basic elements to make this car work? To make this car take me from A to B? We will worry about the mirror later.